Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 heist.
Yes, I saw this and I was like, this is almost like a great train robbery type situation here.
Yeah, so more than 2,500 Nintendo Switch 2 consoles were stolen from a truck. Now, this has happened before, I think, with like iPads and iPhones before, but it's kind of crazy. I mean, the Switch 2 is, for better or for worse, in very, very high demand right now. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's going to be a massive failure at launch. I'm like, well, if it's going to fail, it's going to fail in the long term because all the Nintendo fans are going to buy it. I'm going to wait until they have more than just, Mario Kart available for it. But it's broken all kinds of records. We've talked about that. It was like, they said 1.1 million units. It's like 3.5, I think. Oh, in the U.S. Yeah, in the U.S. alone, it just did 1.1 million units. So, yeah. And they're going for ridiculous prices on eBay, on the secondary market.
Yeah, I was going to check here right now. But, yeah, continue talking while I look it up. Yeah, they're going for a lot. So, not that they're going to rip off a truck. Now, would they have, like, a serial number or something listed so they would know?
They could say that serial number was in this shipment. So if you have that, could you imagine, like, I don't know if Nintendo could do that or if they would do that, but like you log into your Nintendo account and they're like, oh, this is a stolen Switch.
Well, they probably can.
We're going to send the Pinkertons to your house.
Well, no, see, they do that. They were Hasbro.
So let's talk about this, the great Switch heist. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
Badorcs.com. Go out to badorcs.com because orcs are a-holes, right?
That's right.
Orcs are a-holes. They're not people. Neither are the people that stole the Switches. How could they do this to poor Nintendo?
Well, how much the Switch 2s cost to buy?
About $450.
Okay, because they're selling for like $600, $700, $600.
So multiply, $600-$700 times $2,500. That's a lot of money, right? That's a lot of money.
They said it was like $1.4 million worth or something like that.
Oh my God!
And I don't know if that's with the retail price, probably, so more than that.
Yeah. People are actually, what you do is you sit on them until Christmas.
But then maybe they'll have more out. I don't know.
Well, maybe, or it's gonna be like chip shortage. Nintendo
Nintendo never does that, ever.
Chip shortage, tariffs. What are we going to do? Yeah. So they said earlier this month, this is coming from Kotaku. Earlier this month, nearly 3,000 Switch 2 consoles with a total value of over $1 million were stolen out of a semi-truck in Colorado. The thief or thieves responsible have not been apprehended. This is insane. The Switch 2 launched earlier this month, became one of the fastest selling consoles in history. Here's more about the heist. Mm-hmm. On June 9th, a semi-truck driver reported that his trailer had been broken into and someone had stolen his cargo, nearly 3,000 Nintendo Switch 2 consoles. As reported by KUSA 9 News, the driver discovered the missing consoles during a pre-inspection check of his trailer while stopped at a Love's gas station in Colorado.
But they would have had to have known that that's what the truck was carrying. They would have been following the truck or something. Like I said, there's a lot of planning would have had to go into this.
Right. I mean, this is seriously is a heist. This is going to be a movie. This is going to be like the GameStop movie. Ironically, they're going to GameStop.
I know, right? I did know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel bad for people who have been ordering those.
I know, right? The trucker reportedly told police he was traveling to a GameStop in Grapevine, Texas. He explained he didn't know what was in the trailer, only that it was game or toy related. Thieves took multiple large pallets of Switch 2 consoles from the trailer. Police estimate that over $1 million worth of consoles were stolen.
Couple things here. One, how long was the guy at the stop? Because you're talking like pallets. How would they get in there and get the pallets cleared out? Two, somebody had to know it was in the truck, even if he didn't, because they would have had to plan that and had the equipment there to pull the pallets out of the truck.
Is he in on it?
Or I don't know if he's in on it, but is was the truck ever loaded in the first place?
I don't know. I mean, this is kind of crazy.
And it would take you a little bit of time to unload those.
Yeah.
So was he sleeping? Was he taking a shower? I'm like,
he might have been at a rest stop. He might have been, but yeah, somebody had to know. Yeah. So I don't know. Was he doing stuff he wasn't supposed to be doing? And so he broke in, took all the switches. I have no idea. It's crazy though. This is going to happen though until they're more widely available because again, look at what they're going for in the secondary market. But Yeah, here's more from the original article. They said the driver told deputies he was en route to GameStop in Texas from Nintendo of America in Redmond, Washington. So he actually got them from Nintendo directly. He told deputies he didn't know what was in it. The thieves took multiple pallets full. They retail at $4.99. The cost to Nintendo is over $410. So either way you look at it, it's well over $1 million worth of merchandise stolen. Steve Beatty, a computer science professor at MSU Denver, said not to expect those swipe switches to show up on Craigslist or at pawn shops because they're stolen. Yeah, here we go. I would expect them to head to the dark web pretty quickly unless they're shipped out of the country.
Yeah, because I would think that's where they end up because they're going to be, they probably have, this is serial numbers that they could trace them.
Yeah, Nintendo could trace every one of them. I mean, they all have serial numbers, right? The anonymous spot to buy and sell is feeding a demand, Beatty said. It doesn't take long on the dark web to spot a low-cost Switch 2. Took me about 2 minutes to find Switches for sale. It's half price. If you end up with a stolen Switch, these devices they each have a serial number that police and Nintendo can track. When you log in, you have to register that number. That's how you play games, get updates. Nintendo, he said, then can track down your device. They're going to unload them before... But I'm like, if you're smart enough to get on the dark web, you think you'd be smart enough to, you know what I'm saying?
Right, to not buy one that's half price because unless you have a way around the serial number.
The only thing I can think is people would mod them or something. I don't know. You better not log into it with your Nintendo account because that's, it's crazy. Nintendo does have the capability of what we call bricking the device.
Yes.
And that's to make it non-functional. Getting around it isn't simple. People have already done it, though. You'd have to try and jailbreak it, essentially sidestepping those protections through coding or avoid connecting to the internet altogether. Yes, they're pricey little devices. If you're not paying $500 to $600 for one, you're probably not getting the original. Of course, you want to go through reputable dealers, they say.
Yeah, of course they're going to say that. But yeah, if you're seeing a half price one on the dark web, it's either a knockoff or it's, one I wouldn't trust to put the serial number in for.
I was sitting there thinking, remember 8-Bit Christmas where they bought the Cabbage Patch out of the trunk?
Yes.
That's what this reminds me of. But grandma's not going to buy a Switch out of a parking lot.
Well, no, it's funny though, because people are just dumb, but you can find things that are knockoffs of stuff online and they'll even have the pictures of the actual item. But when the price is too good to be true, it usually is. Because I know for a fact, the Monster High dolls, they did G1 reissues of some ones, and the Werecat twins was one of the ones everybody wanted. Well, first of all, I got screwed over on that one because I bought them from Amazon within 30 seconds of it going live. And then they told everybody that they canceled because they didn't have inventory. Kiss my ass because I could have got it someplace else and didn't. But beyond that, people were buying them on Amazon and Walmart. A lot of them are Walmart. And you showed these 2 dolls in the package just because it was a picture of the real dolls. But it would be some ridiculously low price. And they buy it. And what they were either getting were ceramic dolls that were painted to look like them, or they were broken, or dolls that someone else homemade dolls and stuff like that because they were coming from third-party sellers overseas.
Yeah.
And they were, I paid $30 for the pack. Well, you got what you paid for, I guess. And that's what you got to watch out for.
Yeah. And sometimes the stuff you're buying is actually overstock or whatever from the factories, especially on Temu. I think a lot of the stuff was
well, these were you got it from Wish or Temu, but worse. I mean, it was literally ceramic dolls painted to look like them, and they were terrible. But they were so fugly, people were actually buying them on purpose because they wanted them because they were so terrible. But they knew what they were getting at that point. But people are if something sounds too good to be true and you're getting a half price deal, it's either not real or there's some questionable legality around it.
They'll take these, they'll gut them, they'll turn them into some moldy console emulator, sell them at the mall for $100.
I don't think they'll go that much trouble. I think they'll just unload them to idiots.
250,000 games, all these knockoff Mario games, and everything's really off-brand.
It's like Mario. It's Marinara. Is that what you guys call it?
Marinara. Yeah, there was this guy. Okay, this is years ago. At this one convention we went to, and they had a retro game booth, and they had it's supposed to be Mario, but it was obviously it was a knockoff Mario costume, and so Squid King's that's not Mario, that's Marinara.
I know, so that's why I said it. Anyway, that's what you have to watch out for. So if someone's offering a really, really, really cheap Nintendo Switch 2, I'd be questioning that.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
Yes.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.